Deep within the marble heart of Alexandria, where the air smells of papyrus and the salt of the Mediterranean, lived Alaric, the keeper of the great library. He was a scholarly man, with a robe made of sun-bleached linen and eyes that held the gathered wisdom of 1,000 civilizations. His home was the Hall of Eternal Scrolls, a majestic rotunda where he spent every waking moment caring for the pulse of history, a massive, bronze astrolabe with rings as wide as chariot paths. Each rotation of the bronze brought the recording of a new day's discovery, and each alignment brought the preservation of an ancient secret. By turning a small ivory dial, Alaric would gently transition the records of the world from the fading ink of the past to the bright, vellum pages of the future. One afternoon, while Alaric was oiling the hinges of the great atlas, a sudden sandstorm from the desert beyond carried a small, scorched object into the library. It was a soldier's iron seal, its surface scarred by fire, and its leather straps snapped. Before Alaric could secure it, the seal tumbled deep into the center of the great astrolabe. There was a sharp, grinding screech, and the bronze rings shuddered to a halt. Instantly, the hall turned into a place of silent, dusty shadows. Outside, in the city, the scribes' pens ran dry under a sudden cloud of confusion, and a never-ending ignorance began to cover the bright minds of the scholars in darkness. Alaric peered through the bronze pillars and saw an old veteran standing in the dusty forum, looking toward the library with a sad, desperate face. The man was holding an empty scabbard, waiting for a legacy that had been lost in the flames of war. Alaric knew he couldn't just cast the seal aside. It was the only record of a forgotten army, and his machine was jammed. With steady, ink-stained fingers, he began the delicate work of disassembling the celestial gears. He worked through the suffocating night, his linen robes covered in grease and grit, as he carefully removed the fragments of the iron seal from the bronze teeth of the astrolabe. Once the rings were clear, Alaric looked at the scarred seal in his palm. He reached out and caught a stray spark from a flickering oil lamp, spinning it between his fingers until it became a glowing, golden ember of truth. He used this heat to smooth the seal's pitted iron and used a sliver of a polished mirror to restore its lost insignia. The seal began to glow with a clarity that could cut through any lie. Instead of simply shelving it, Alaric gave the seal a gentle push down the library's stone chute, sending it sliding toward the forum like a beacon of hope. The veteran below saw the glowing iron seal emerging from the library's shadow. As soon as the man's calloused hands caught the metal, the great astrolabe above gave a powerful, rhythmic hum. The bronze rings began to spin faster than ever before. In a wave of clarity that moved across the city, the confusion vanished, and thousands of forgotten stories erupted from the archives in a chorus of voices. Alaric watched from his rotunda, smiling as the old man stood tall with his history restored. He realized that the pulse of history didn't just run on bronze, it ran on the truth shared between the scholars of the past and the survivors of the present.